How's it going? Hey, my name is Fawad Sheikh, and I'm going to be doing this lab in which we are simulating a security incident on our network. And we're going to take some steps to do some analysis and mitigation tasks and take a look at the drive that was impacted by that data security incident. And we'll kind of go from there. Touch a little bit of the group policy OU side of things as well to kind of make sure that we have correct processes in place moving forward as well. So let's get into it. So on this PT1 Kali Linux machine, we're just going to log in as root. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the drive, the block. Okay. We just want to make sure that we are where we are. And we can see that these are the current set of files on our working directory. Maybe a little bit better way to see it. And then from here, we're actually going to look at some of the server storage systems we have in place. So we have 40 gigs here, and then we have one right here. And because we're actually reading along on the side, I am at least, I can see that, SDB1, SDB, that's our problem area that we need to create an image of. For future instances, we always want to have the most real-time snapshot or backup of our point in time when that attack happened. And that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to create an image for evidence. That's what I was trying to get at. So we have SDB, and what we're going to do is we're going to copy it. Fat fingers today, but nothing new. Victim. Okay, and what we're doing here is we're basically copying, getting a copy of this 1 gig, 1.1 gig over to our root directory in a file called victim.image. And we can check and make sure that that's where we want it to be. Oops, over here, victim.image, and we'll get back into it. Now, what we want to do is we want to hash this file. We want to make sure that it hasn't been tampered with moving forward. And we'll get into that a little more in another lesson, but we definitely want to make sure that we've hashed it. Okay, so we're going to use MD5 for this image file. And we're going to store that hash in a file called victim-hash. Okay. And we can see that's where it is, right here. Okay. And if we really wanted to, we might be able to pass off a overwrite or an additional edit to it to create an accidental change to that disk image file. In a real world scenario, it would discredit that evidence, but for simulation purposes, we can pass off this. Okay. And we want to pass it. We actually want to write it on in addition to what we have there. So we can actually see well, we actually want to do the same exact thing. So we want to image okay. We actually want to do MD5 sum victim.image victim-hash.text. Victim.image. Ooh. Okay, and now we can actually look at it. And it should have two values in there. Two hash values as a result of that additional investigation began comment that we added. And yeah, they are different, even though, you know, only very little of the image file was changed. They're completely different from one another. That is indeed true. Okay. And from here, we actually want to go and look at some changes we can do to our group policies to lock down the type of applications that our temporary employees might have access to. This will help us kind of ensure principles of least privilege moving forward. So we'll get into that over here on the Windows box. Okay. We're going to use Active Directory, just jumping right into it. Okay, and inside of here we want to locate Corp 515. We want to create a new organizational unit. It's still loading up. But yeah, we can think of this OU as a logical folder inside of which we can administer policies for our users and groups and henceforth. So we'll kind of call this temps OU, and inside of here we're going to, we want to create a global security group within temps OU. And we'll just call this temps. We'll keep it at defaults. Okay. And this is basically what we're going to use to control user resources for access provisioning within that OU. So I think we're good here. And then we're going to manage the group policies. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to right click on here. We're actually going to try and lock down on some of the file directory access that our users have. And we're going to use AppLocker for that. So before we get into all that, let's call this temp users configs. We'll edit this. Computer configurations, policies, Windows settings, and then security settings. And get into application control policies. And that's where AppLocker is going to be found. Okay. Okay. And this is one thing that we actually want to enforce, is what kind of files can our users run. So Windows installer roles, we're going to create a new rule in here, and this is going to be enforced on the temps only. And this is going to be a deny rule. Let me just make sure that I create a default rule. We want some of these defaults to come in. And in here, we want to create that. Okay, and it's going to be a deny rule. Temps. We're going to lock down on one of the paths. The first one we can do is we'll use a wildcard in here. So anything within is just not accessible. Okay. No exceptions. That's that. And then we'll create one more. Yes. And that's going to apply to the executable files. We don't want those being made accessible. So path. And then we're going to do the same exact thing. Log files. Inside of this, we're actually going to do, so these executable files are just going to be locked down. Oops, this needs to be deny. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go back to make sure that those two types of deny rules are actually enforceable. So configure rule enforcement. Yes, those rules can be enforced. That's in the app locker properties. We're not done just yet though. After this, we actually want to go to turn on the service so that it auto starts at login. And this allows App Locker to do its thing, if you will, automatically without any type of manual intervention from our side. And that puts us where we want to be with those policies. Okay, and then let's see. We want to save or reported this on our desktop as well. Sure. That's there. Cool. All right. So that's that. We also do want to do one more thing, which is we want to go through the exercise of data restore and backup from that restore. So that's one more thing that I definitely want to get into. And we're going to use Windows Server Backup utility for that. So you have that here. And then Windows Server Backup. And we want to do a local backup of the infected supposed file directory. Or in this case, it's going to be something that's good that we're going to back up from eventually. So this is, it's a good backup. And we're going to back up once. It's going to be custom backup. We're only going to do a certain file path within. And it's going to be, let's do sysinternals. Now we're going to do this at a remote location. It's going to be the MS1 server that we touched earlier. Next, backup. And this takes a few moments, but once it's complete, we're actually going to go back and remove sysinternals to kind of recreate that friction that we would go through in the event that, you know, we've lost everything or we need to restore from backup. Okay. Almost there. Okay, and now we want to go back to lab files, sysinternals. That's what we're going to get rid of. Oh no, it's gone. And what are we going to do? It's gone from here as well. And we need to find a way to get it back. Well, we have a backup, do we not? So we're going to go to server backup, and we're going to recover this time. This is stored, it's stored somewhere else. Yes. Remote. Yep. And it's going to be here. Yep. Yep. And yes, that's what we want. And we're going to put it back exactly where it was. It's PC. But we're going to create a new folder inside of here. We're going to call it okay, and we're going to recover. It'll only take a few moments, and once we're done with that, we've went through our entire exercise. Yep, I think so. And yeah, once this is complete, we should actually see it right where we want it. We can see it actually already over here. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna go through a few more exercises. It's midnight where I am, so probably gonna be wrapping up, but that's where we'll cap things out for the night, and that's all. Thank you.